In 2016, I met with Nadia Murad and Yazda on the sidelines of the World Humanitarian Summit in Istanbul, and we agreed to help support Nadia and Yazda with my old human rights organization in New York to push the accountability track for bringing ISIS to justice. I left my organization and I moved to Somalia, where I was working with the United Nations for 2 years. Upon leaving the UN, I returned to London and I was speaking with my friends at Yazda about the situation today in northern Iraq, and I was very sad to hear that the situation hasn't changed much in reality for the people on the ground. People are still displaced, people are still scared, and people still think there will be another genocide. So whilst it's amazing that Nadia has won the Nobel Peace Prize, whilst it's incredible that the government of Iraq has consented to establishing UNITAD and investigating the genocide, in reality, more needs to be done to help the people on the ground. So we wanted to try something different, and the way we wanted to do that is through art. So we are using a new form of human rights advocacy where we bring in different types of art. So for instance, we have virtual reality, a groundbreaking experience that transports people to Iraq to understand the situation facing the Yazidis in Kocho and the situation today. We also use paintings by survivors from displaced people, not just from the Yazidi community, but also from Christians and other religious minorities in northern Iraq. We also have photography, where we have photos of survivors, religious leaders, politicians, again, from the communities, but also those working outside of Iraq, including Karim Khan, as well as individuals in the UK and Germany from the governments there, to talk about what could be done and what needs to be done to inspire action. The whole exhibition is called Nobody's Listening. 5 years after the genocide, very little's happening and nobody's listening to the victims on the ground right now. So what we're trying to do is use art to inspire change and make sure that people are listening around the world to the cries and calls of the Yazidis and other victims in Iraq. The virtual reality film was based on existing testimony. So we didn't actually interview anyone for the testimony that was included in the experience because we didn't want to re-traumatize people. The Yazidis have spoken enough about what happened to them. So we went out and we collected testimony from those who have already spoken. For the photography, we have used Yazidis in Germany who are now leaders and activists within their own community, such as Farida Abbas or Ivana Walid or Salwa Khalaf, for instance. But we are now back in northern Iraq to collect more testimony from survivors, from religious leaders, from politicians, talking about what needs to happen. Again, this is from the Yazidis, Christians, and all communities that have been affected by the genocide.